Every day, you trust a pair of shoes to protect your feet. It's easy to assume humans have always needed them, but for almost all of our species' 300,000-year history, people walked across rocks, forests, deserts, and frozen ground without anything like modern footwear. So how did they avoid constant injury? The answer isn't simply that their feet were tougher. It's far more surprising, and it changes what we think we know about human survival. The image many of us have of prehistoric humans is simple: bare feet, endless walking, constant cuts and pain. It seems almost impossible that people could cross entire landscapes without modern boots or even simple sandals, but archaeology tells a different story. The real question isn't why they walked barefoot, it's when they chose not to. For most of human history, your feet were the product of millions of years of evolution. Unlike modern feet, which spend most of their lives cushioned by thick soles, prehistoric feet developed naturally from childhood. Walking barefoot strengthened the muscles, thickened the skin, and allowed the arches of the foot to form without constant support. Even today, researchers studying people who regularly go barefoot have found they often develop broader feet, stronger muscles, and thicker natural calluses that protect against rough ground. But tough skin alone wasn't enough. Ancient humans lived in environments that could easily overwhelm even the strongest feet. Sharp volcanic rock, frozen tundra, scorching desert sand, thorn-covered grasslands, and jagged mountain trails all pose different dangers. Human groups responded the same way they solved nearly every survival challenge. They adapted. Some simply chose their routes carefully, following animal trails, riverbanks, or softer ground whenever possible. Others moved during the cooler parts of the day to avoid burning surfaces. Small decisions like these reduced injuries long before anyone invented a shoe. Eventually, however, nature presented a problem that even evolution couldn't solve: ice. Around 26,000 years ago, during the last glacial maximum, huge parts of Europe and Asia were locked beneath freezing temperatures. Frostbite could destroy tissue within hours. Thick calluses offered little protection against frozen ground. Survival required something entirely new. Direct evidence of ancient shoes is surprisingly rare because leather, grass, and animal hides decay quickly, but archaeologists have found indirect clues that tell an extraordinary story. Around 40,000 years ago, human footprints begin showing changes. The toes appear less spread than those of earlier humans, suggesting they were spending time inside simple footwear. Bone needles dating to roughly the same period also appear across Eurasia, allowing hides to be stitched together with remarkable precision. While no complete shoe from that age has survived, the evidence points towards simple moccasin-like coverings made from animal skin, fur, and plant fibers. The oldest surviving shoe ever discovered is much younger. Found in a cave in Armenia, it is over 5,000 years old and made from a single piece of cowhide shaped around the foot. By then, footwear had already become part of daily life for many societies, but the idea itself was almost certainly tens of thousands of years older. Ironically, wearing shoes may have changed our feet. Modern footwear protects us from injury, but it also limits how the foot naturally moves. Studies comparing habitually barefoot populations with people raised in shoes have found noticeable differences in toe alignment, balance, and foot strength. The feet that carried our ancestors across continents were not only protected by simple footwear when necessary, they were also stronger because they had developed without it. Perhaps that's the biggest surprise of all. Prehistoric humans didn't survive because they ignored danger. They survived because they knew when to rely on their own bodies and when to invent something new. Sometimes that meant walking barefoot across ground we would never attempt today. Other times, it meant wrapping animal hide around their feet before crossing snow and ice. Every step our ancestors took shaped the story of our species. Their footprints crossed deserts, forests, mountains, and frozen plains long before roads existed. And hidden inside those ancient tracks is a reminder that human survival has never depended on having the strongest body. It has always depended on knowing when to adapt. Even something as ordinary as the shoes waiting by your door is part of a story that began tens of thousands of years before the first civilization was ever built.